We'll say good morning. This is Tuesday, no, October 31st, 2023. I think we have a solution to our recording issues. We're going to use Zoom, so we'll see how that works. On Zoom, you can share the screen, which I will do right now. To show, first of all, rainfall totals, this right now it's 7:22 a.m. for about the last hour and a half, 2 hours, especially on the west side. We've been getting some pretty heavy rainfall. This is all in advance of our norther. Winds are starting to turn to the west right now. Starting tomorrow, especially in the evening, we'll see more of a northerly wind, although the winds right now don't look to be terribly bad from the northern part of our storm. So 2.5 inches right now, West End, between West End and West Bay, 2 inches, almost 2 inches in West Bay, Mid-Island, 1/2 inch. Over here towards Oak Ridge, 1/3 of an inch, 2/3 of an inch Palatilli. So what we're looking at locally right now is this rain feature here. And if we turn to the radar, we can see that most of our rain is on the west side, or at least heavier on the west side. And if we put it in motion, we can see the general motion of this rain, more or less stationary. I think earlier it was moving a little bit more towards the southeast. Now it seems to be a little more stationary. Today will be a day of some rain. Tomorrow will be a day of more rain. And then unfortunately, Thursday and Friday look like days of the most rain, lots of rain. So just kind of increasing in intensity and length of rain. We'll take a look real quick at what Pilar out there in the Pacific. Should see a lot of heavy surf. Let's take a look out and see what Pilar is doing right now. It's going to be of very little concern to us because this norther is going to catch it and push it back out to sea. But there she is right there. Definitely bringing some heavy rain to El Salvador. Not so much, it seems like, to the Pacific coast of Honduras, but it should get a little closer by tonight and then start moving away for those folks. Here you can see the rain and the clouds over us with a westerly flow. That often happens when we get a westerly flow. And right in here is the storm that could potentially be a hurricane or tropical storm. Right now is what most of the models are saying. A few are advancing it into hurricane status. So let's take a look at where it is this morning. So we have still a 70% chance of tropical development over the next 7 days. This would actually probably happen in 72 hours is what we'd be looking for over here. And so we're going to be looking at 2 waves of rain. The first one we're going to be talking about is our norther. That's what runs through Friday, and that's what we can see right in here. Perhaps they're still showing the GFS westerly winds. So the winds from the north shifting around to the west, around 20 miles per hour tomorrow, giving us seas 3 to 4 feet. But as it gets closer in this time period, Friday into Saturday morning, even though the winds don't look terrible for us, 7 to 8 foot seas on the north side, and the heaviest rain Thursday night into Friday morning. But then the next wave is whatever happens with this tropical system. That would be the main source of our weekend rain, depending on how far north or south it goes. So let's start with rain totals for just the northern portion. So this would be through Friday night, Saturday morning, midnight. And so we can see, if we start with the euro, which is perhaps one of the 3 most common that we use, 6 inches, 5 to 6 inches of rain. GFS, a little scarier, with a bullseye to our north with 20 inches, and giving us around 7 to 8 inches. And then the icon, this has more of a classic northern look to it. We often see the rain get higher as we get toward the coast and those mountains. That pushes the moisture up and causes a lot of rain closer to the coast, but still giving us around 7 inches of rain through Friday. Now, after that, we get whatever happens with our tropical system. So let's go back here on the GFS. We can see Pilar moving away. And the GFS is not as scary as it was yesterday or the day before, because it really was making a hurricane out of this. But it is bringing the moisture closer to us, hitting around you can see it, little circulation here, hitting around the border of Honduras and Nicaragua, coming over us. And then to add insult to injury, toward the end of next week, another norther. Perhaps not quite as strong as this one, but we don't know yet. So we're looking at a lot of rain over the next week and a half. So let's go back and look at rainfall totals when we include the possibility of this tropical system. So let's go through the weekend, the icon giving us more like 12 inches of rain, and the GFS. So that is 8 times 4, 32 inches of rain. I hope that doesn't happen, but that is what it is forecasting, because it's showing that storm coming more close to being over us, and then 7 inches over our islands on the Euro. Let's look at some of the models information. Some of these have some intensification as it gets close to the coast. Many of these show it going into Nicaragua and then coming back out over us. Some of these models show it coming further north, which is bad for us. Watch this HWFI, because if you look at the intensity chart, that one blows it up. Let's hope HWFI, which I don't know where that computer model is, let's hope that's very wrong, because if that happens, we're in trouble. Most of them have that sticking into the tropical storm realm, perhaps a little bit of Cat 1. And so we have to wait. Next 24 hours, we should start seeing perhaps some circulation, and that'll give us a better idea as to exactly where it's going. Main issue we face is rain. So if you live in a place where if it rains a lot, your road might wash out, you might want to stock up. If you live near a cliff that might create a landslide, think about an emergency action plan to get out of there. So the rainfall totals like we had 2 weeks ago, probably copied in this storm, especially with these 2 storms. And now the ground is wetter, so it's more loose and more likely to create landslides. So be careful out there, and we'll keep up with what's going on here.